Hello. Hopefully we don't have any issues with audio this week. I know we had some issues last week, but if this is your first time, welcome. If you are new or if you're not new, welcome back. I know a lot of people are going to be watching the Super Bowl today, so anyone that has joined me, I appreciate it. But I know a lot of you guys will be watching at a later time. A lot of you guys will be checking in later. That is a-okay. You can still participate in the comments. You can still make pledges through the avenues that are listed in the description of this video. Hello, David. Oh yeah, I forgot some of you are probably watching the Puppy Bowl too. I have watched that before. I don't watch the Super Bowl. I've watched the commercials quite a few times. Actually, I've gotten duped into watching the Super Bowl a time or two, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. I don't enjoy it. It's just not something I want to do, but I know a lot of people do, and that's totally cool. So just take some time for yourself and have fun, whatever that means to you. But for those of you, I can't talk today. For those of you that are new, just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm not a mental health professional yet. So if you are in mental health crisis, please make sure that you're getting the help you deserve. I always list the suicide hotlines by country in a link in the description. You can also reach out to a mental health professional either online or in your area. If you need help finding one, please just let us know. That is okay, Jake. It's okay that it's been a while. You don't have to come to all of them. Just whenever you feel the calling to be here with us, whenever you hear the wolves howling for you to come join us. So we do have the goal of reaching 250 in pledges. You can use the super chat or super sticker function to do that. Every single dime of it goes toward my mental health outreach. We didn't get a lot during the last stream, but I still was able to help a girl get into therapy and get started with that journey toward her healing. So I'm very happy for that. I'm very excited for that. That's something I do a lot here in the community, is people that are struggling and aren't able to get into therapy either because of financial concerns or because it's not really available in their area. I help connect them with different options online or find an alternative. So that is something I really, really love about the community, is that we're able to help each other and love each other. It's not new, actually, Jake. I just moved it because it was back behind this monitor. I have two monitors. It was behind this monitor, and I found that the audio quality is probably better if it's closer to me. So I figured I would do that. Oh, geez. Spencer says, I owe IRS $2,000. The IRS sent me a letter last April, and I still have no idea what's going on. So I think I'm just being audited from what I understand in the letters, but I haven't gotten any updates. So the IRS can be so stressful. Oh, Chris says hello from Ohio. Aaron says, man and I both lived in Ohio at different points in our lives. True. Ohio is for lovers. Oh gosh, I think that's what Spencer was trying to say. Ohio is, oh, thank you, Ryan. Right off the bat today, we're not even a minute into the stream and we're already doing so well toward our goal. Thank you. Is everybody just feeling festive today? Is that it? Oh, how? There we go. I'll keep it like that till we do our snaps. Oh, Spudkey says, I currently live in Ohio. You know what's funny, and this just goes to show that the grass is always greener, is when I lived in Ohio, I despised it. It was, oh my gosh, it rains too much or it's too cold. And now I'm here in Arizona going, oh my God, it's like Satan's ball sack and I'm melting and I don't get enough rain. So we're always going to find things to complain about, or we can find things to enjoy. There are things here in Arizona to enjoy, like the sunsets. And while I don't thoroughly love the heat, I'm kind of starting to somewhat, maybe a little tiny bit, acclimate to it. And by acclimate to it, I mean getting used to staying inside most of the summer. But it really is about what we're putting our focus in. Spencer says Ohio is for lovers is a great song. Man, I miss that era of music. I really do. Hi, Travis. Hello, Marlon. Good night. Sean says, hey, my awesome mental health family, and greetings from Omaha, Nebraska. Hello. How's my beautiful family doing today? My fiance and I have been in our place for 2 weeks as of tomorrow, and we love it. That's very exciting. Warrior Post says, my ex-girlfriend lived there What I've always wondered was, what's with Ohio having constant, never-ending construction being done there, right? I swear every road is always being fixed, and I don't get it. They never stop. It never stops. And their projects seem to take forever. So if they have a construction project, it will be under construction for 6 years easily. I don't understand why the process is just slower in Ohio. Spucky says, that's the way I was. I always hated living in Ohio till I was in Pennsylvania, then I was begging to come back to Ohio. It's just the same since you went away. I know that one's Come Back to Texas by Bowling for Soup, but I think it says there's nothing wrong with Ohio except the snow and the rain, which when I was living there was totally accurate. I want to share a good news story here before we dive in and start sharing our wins and talking about where we're at. So the title of this article says, "We just held hands and jumped. How one of Britain's happiest, healthiest communes was built." I think David will love the story if he doesn't already know about it. "It took 13 years of dreaming, peril, and hard graft before the first resident moved into Cannock Mill, an eco-village that tackles both the climate crisis and loneliness." Look at this. Can you see what it is? The architect, Anne Thorne, is showing me around Cannock Mill, the eco-village in the outskirts of Colchester, that she designed in collaboration with a group of her friends who had grown tired of London life. We're standing behind a terrace of terracotta and honey-toned houses. Even on a Drake day, the 1 hectare or 2.4 acre site has a distinctly Mediterranean vibe. There are well-tended grounds, a communal allotment, and a fire pit. Sounds like heaven. Thorne is gesticulating at a tiny path. It's a frog passerelle, she enthuses. I have no clue. So that frogs can get safely to the mill pond down there. Oh my gosh. Can we please move here, like tomorrow? I can't see amphibious commuters, but Claudine and Piaf, the community chickens, are scrabbling about. There are 3 buzzing beehives, too. Cannock Mill is the UK's first co-housing community aimed at tackling the climate crisis and loneliness in later life. On paper, the project sounds a bit like Cooper's Chase, the luxurious fictional retirement village featured in Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club. Ooh, we're talking beehives and frogs and murder. It sounds like my kind of place, my kind of zone, my kind of environment. In reality, it's nothing of the sort. Well, darn. The most popular communal activity here involves listening to Wagner rather than solving cold cases in a room devoted to jigsaws. I kid you not, that's actually what it says. Rather than solving cold cases in a room devoted to jigsaws. Oh. What if I want to do both? Or what if I want to solve jigsaw cold cases? When it comes to climate-considerate building development, it is the details that make the difference. Thorne points out a rainwater pipe that flows onto porous tarmac. A tank underneath catches the overflow, which then runs into a garden area and finally down into the pond. No surface water goes into drainage, so we get a reduction in our water rates as well as it being good for the environment. There's a note of quiet reverence in her voice, as if each item she is showing me is nothing short of a miracle. This is understandable when you discover that it took 13 years of dreaming, financial peril, and hard graft to turn the vision into reality. We head into the Grade 2 listed mill, which has been converted into a 3-story social hub for the 30 homeowners who range in age from 60 to 83. The top floor, opened up to the rafters, serves as the communal sitting room, all Scandi-style pale wood and directional design. It is here that I meet some of the other millers, as they are locally known, for coffee. The idea came about in 2006. I was with a group of friends from a women's walking group, and we were all discussing our elderly parents. Everyone was facing the same dilemmas. People had to try to support them at home in a nursing home or in an old people's home. Our sense was that care tends to happen to someone rather than them having any say in it. We agreed that we didn't want that for our own futures, but we couldn't do anything about it. The friends, alongside partners, including Thorne's husband, also an architect, resolved to find a plot of land on which to build, ideally within 90 minutes of London, so that they could commute and be within easy reach of their families. At that stage, some were still in their 40s, but the time they moved in, at the end of 2019, nearly all were retired, and their children had mostly been forced out of London by spiraling property prices. Isn't this awesome? I think we should just all build a community like this. Who is down for pledging to that? Let's just pledge enough that we can buy a plot of land and build a communal place like that. And you know what? I think all of our mental health would be much, much better. I know mine would. I've said recently, maybe I should just go live in one of these commune things. Maybe I would be happier that way, just being detached from civilization and feeling connected to the earth and feeling like I was doing more good than harm toward the environmental issues that we're facing. So I think that that's really awesome. Does that not sound amazing? Amazing. Yeah, David says beehive, frogs, and murder. Oh my. Oh, yes. I apparently missed. Spencer says Amanda needs to sing Ohio is for lovers. That's going to take a pledge, Spencer. You're going to have to pledge for that one, love. Let's see. Ryan says it's 86 in Florida. Look, Ryan's down there with Dexter, Miami. Seattle's way worse. Oh, thank you, David. Thank you. Was that for the frogs, the bees, or the murder? I'm curious. I think we're going to hit our goal today. I feel good. I feel good. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I knew that I would now. Yeah, I don't think any of y'all want to hear me sing things. Hey, Tony. Hope you are doing good. Hope that you got to spend some more quality time with the boys and everything worked out. Spencer says my drinking has slowed down, which is a win for me. Some preemptive snaps there. It's 36 here in Omaha right now, man. And I was complaining that it was in the 50s earlier when I went outside. I've been doing walks in the morning and evening, and it's really beautiful during the day. It's perfect during the day, but in the morning and evening, it's a little chilly, and I need my sweater. M2KFX says, I could be okay, but I'm in hospital after hitting my knee with a hammer. I was breaking something up at home, and for some reason, the hammer liked my knee more than what I was breaking up. It's okay, just bruised. I'm glad it's okay. That sounds awful. David says, we still have 28 viewers. Amanda's popularity up there with Sportsful. Yay! I am so grateful that you guys took time to come be with me today, because I often do feel a bit isolated on events like this or on event days like this, because I just don't take interest in it. I think it's great if you do. If that's a social event you like, great. I just don't take interest in it. So I feel a bit ostracized when it comes to these things that everybody's going to be talking about tomorrow. And I don't even know what teams are playing. Aaron told me and I've already forgotten. So I sometimes feel kind of lonely, when either you're single and all your friends are out at parties and stuff, or you're in a relationship and your partner wants to watch the game. It's pretty common. So I've just learned to plan ahead so that I know I'm going to be alone on that day. And it can be amazing. I used to feel a bit, not resentful, that's not the right word, but I'd feel a little left out. And I still do sometimes, but for the most part, it's, now I get 4 or 5 hours to myself. It's glorious. I've definitely shifted a lot from being really codependent to really appreciating my alone time. David says it's okay. Amanda, I feel that way when you talk soaps. Just smile and nod. Oh, don't even get me started, because I right now am waiting to find out who Luna's father is, and I feel like I'm going to just explode and have an anxiety attack if they keep dragging this story along, because I don't want Bill to have another illegitimate child. Jake says it's time, might be Super Bowl Sunday, but there's always time for mental health, right? Matthew says, I'm rooting for the first team to have a ridiculous call placed against them by the referees. I actually there's a shirt on a website called tshirthell.com. I don't know if it's still there because I saw this a long time ago, but it says go local sports team and or college. I need that shirt just so I can feel like a part of the conversation. Ryan, you're just so sweet. Thank you. Making sure that we're hitting our goals today. We're already over halfway there. Living on a prayer. look at this. You got me in a singing mood today. So keep making pledges, guys, and you're going to have to keep listening to that. Or you make pledges to make me not sing. Which way should it go there? Stucky says, I want to move to northern Canada, way up by the Arctic Circle. See, I don't want to be somewhere where it's freezing. I just don't want to be somewhere where I melt when I stand outside, and not even in the middle of the day. In Arizona, it can be mid-morning and it's already way too hot if you're in the dog days. Taylor Swift countertop is already at 1. What? I keep hearing a bunch of stuff going on about Taylor Swift, but I just don't keep up enough to know what. I keep seeing memes about her stuff when I go to post my own content over on Instagram. But somebody fill me in what's going on with this Taylor Swift thing. Oh, 2K says, you got a beautiful singing voice, Samantha. You don't have to lie to kick it, friend. You don't have to lie to kick it. Hey, Edward. Edward, are you watching the game? I don't remember if you said whether or not you were watching it. I guess it doesn't start for another 15 minutes. Should we do wins? Should we do wins and make sure we get those in before the Super Bowl starts, just in case some people decide to bounce out? I keep putting my water bottle down and then forgetting that I put it down. David says, ugh, Taylor Swift is way behind Jack Nicholson at Lakers games. Celebs are always on TV. Weird. Oh my gosh, Matthew always says, I'm on an upcoming season of The Voice. That's so exciting. Let us know which episode or where we can watch it. I want to check it out. Hi, Linksy. Oh gosh, David says, Luna time traveled, had a sex change, and is her own father. Bum, bum, bum. That would definitely be a good, thank you, Aaron. That would definitely be a good plot twist. So I've finally been getting Aaron to watch Dexter, and we just finished my favorite season, which I know is unpopular amidst Dexter fans. No spoilers for people in here who haven't seen it or anything, so please don't leave spoilers in the comments. But we just watched the Doomsday season. We just finished the Doomsday season, and I know a lot of people saw it coming, but I didn't. But that might be because I didn't watch similar movies to the plot twist of that season. So I really enjoyed it. That was my favorite of all the Dexter seasons. I know a lot of people said season 4, but season 4 scared the hell out of me. So I was very hesitant on whether or not to even watch it or make Aaron watch it by himself. But let's do our steps. Oh my gosh. Nick says all seasons of Dexter are good except that new reboot thing that didn't happen. Thank you, by the way. That new reboot thing that didn't happen. Oh, I thought that there couldn't be a worse ending than the original. I was wrong. I stand corrected. Again, I won't give spoilers, but holy cow, that was bad. This chair is up against the desk. It's making the desk wiggle. I'm just going to put that there then. But yeah, I honestly think it's kind of funny that minus the new blood, Dexter New Blood, even the last 2 seasons, which weren't fantastic, weren't bad. Like, I feel like the lackluster seasons of Dexter are a million times better than the best seasons of a lot of shows coming out nowadays. David says, Mick, wow, we're doing good. We are. It makes me happy. We'll just have so many people we can help. Timon says, Lucifer fans, in the end, they hit an iceberg at the end. But I'm a Lucifer fan too, but I don't feel like I get that reference. Oh, David says, hey, we can like tips now. When did that change? Oh, that's a cool feature. I didn't know that either. Can I like? Oh my gosh, I can. I can like all of you. Let me make sure I like everybody. I love you. Oh, David, it won't let me like yours because I think yours expired. But I love you. Here, I'll give you a real heart since it won't let me go back and heart you afterwards. That sounds dirty, doesn't it? Studkey says, I got a card from my insurance. It gives me $250 a month to spend on groceries and bills. It's a big help. That is huge. Okay, I want to make sure that we get our wins. And Aaron already pledged for me to sing. So before we get into the game, let's do our wins. For those of you that are new, this is a Snap Cup inspired by Legally Blonde 2, just to share some warm fuzzies with the community. Everyone sing with me. I want to see some snaps here in the comments. Snap cup time, gather you round. Friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. David says, Amanda says her chair is wiggling. Now I want her to sing Salt and Peppa Wiggle It. I remember Salt and Peppa, but I don't know that song. Alrighty. David, you are first today. David says, I got my friend's initials added to one of my tattoos. I will carry his memory with me always. That's a big win when we're able to honor those that we've lost, those that we love. They'll always be a big part of us. It's beautiful to be able to honor them. That's always a big win. Just being able to connect to them and their memory. Jeremy Doris says, I allow myself to get frustrated. I didn't take it out on myself this time. Hopefully that becomes the trend. That's absolutely the new trend because you just started a new trend. Look at you, trendsetter. So big snaps to that. It's okay to get frustrated. We all get frustrated, but it's how we respond to that. So the key is to make sure that when we are getting frustrated, when we are getting angry, when we're getting upset at something, responding versus reacting. So taking that moment to think about what's really the best thing I can do here. David says, I fear being forgotten, so I want to make sure I never forget those close to me. I fear that too. Robert Peter says, for myself, I am, I guess, what they consider BP1 and never been able to talk about my darkness. One time I did as a teenager and was committed for a time. So basically I've learned to treat it like a visitor and primarily use physical exercise as well as a fight inside my mind. And I've learned that I can survive with a little less or with a little time alone to get right. I'm approaching 58 and this did take decades. Big snaps to you for that journey, being able to get to a place where despite how others reacted in the past, despite what happened that might not have been comfortable. I think that's really great to just be able to welcome it, you know, like a visitor and say, okay, you can come in, you can stay for a little while, but then you need to go. That's beautiful. I really like that. I'm very proud of you. David says, I need to get an Amanda face tattooed on my back. I am not going to lie. I think that I wouldn't know how to respond if someone got my face tattooed on them. I guess I could see something representing the community or the channel or even my initials or something, but my face. Marcel, I'm going to run this so badly. Marcel or Marcella Palogalde? I'm not sure. Like I said, it shows the username as opposed to the display names. It's really weird. I was able to go for a run and exercise today. Love it. I played the ukulele and it has helped me tremendously through the grief and the depressive episode I'm dealing with right now. I'm so proud of you for pushing through that episode. I know it can be exhausting, and going out and running and getting some exercise and using your ukulele as a way to process through the grief and the depression so that you can get to the other side. Holding space for yourself like that is very beautiful. I'm very proud of you. So big snaps. Edward says, anger when used properly and positively can be an amazing tool. Yeah, because it can motivate you. It can push you forward. I absolutely agree with that. Could be gayer says, I'm officially 1 year clean from self-harm. Yay, love it. I'm also about halfway through my second trimester of my rainbow baby, and everything seems fine with them according to the last ultrasound. Well, big snaps for the year clean from self-harm. I know I gave preemptive snaps there, but I know how beautiful a rainbow baby must be. So big snaps to you for being able to have that blessing. Chris JB says, well, I went to work And I've started up a channel here on YouTube talking about mental health related issues and where I inform people about the things that go along with it. And the responses have been pretty good so far. My videos have a total closing in on 300 views for just starting it up. I don't think that's too bad. That's great. That's a great start. So big snaps to you. If you guys want to check out this channel, just go over to the community tab here on my page and you can click on this win and go support this channel as well. I think that anything we can do to talk about mental health, open up about mental health, whatnot is beautiful. So all the more people we have talking about it, the better. Please go show some support. Big snaps. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Thank you, David. I see what you did there. I know you know me. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you. Octanium YT says, I'm about to give a speech tomorrow. Wish me luck. You are going to crush it. So big snaps to you. Snaps to you in advance. So when you crush it, you can hear us there. You can hear all of us there snapping. There's so many wins this week. I love it. Marcus M says, this past week, I got in to see a doctor who really looked at me and saw me, really heard me. That is so beautiful. He's genuinely interested in where I'm at, how I got here, and how to get me out of the hole. You are so lucky. That's so amazing because there's so many doctors and mental health professionals that just can't really hear us because they don't understand the language we speak. So it's so amazing when we can find someone that does see us and hear us and make us feel valued, make us see that hope. So big snaps to you for going in and for finding that person. You will get out of the hole. You absolutely will. In the meantime, we're all willing to climb down there and sit with you if you need. And David says, ooh, I can like my own tip. Is that grass? I've liked my own comments before. So in a month's time or so, I'll be buying my first legit new car. Having to depend on others for transportation to and from work, grocery, etc. has been mentally taxing. Told my boss what this means to me and that I plan to use up some vacation time and just go driving. No real destination, just several hundred horsepower and open roads. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I feel like I need to drive. I really just need to get out into nature and decompress a little bit. So big snaps to you for being able to get your first new car. That's a very exciting step, and being able to have that independence and have that mental strain off of your plate, and being able to take some vacation time and just go live. We don't have to have a destination. We don't have to have a plan. Just go live and see where the road takes you. My mom, actually, here's the fun idea. My mom and I, every now and then, when we lived in Ohio, we were talking about Ohio earlier, when we lived in Ohio, every now and then, my mom and I had dice. We kept dice in the car, and each number represented left, right, straight, etc. And so we'd roll the dice to figure out whether to turn or whatever, and then we'd decide in advance how many times we were going to roll the dice, or we'd roll one dice to decide and then roll the other dice or other die to figure out which way to go. But that was so much fun because we never knew where we'd end up, and we found some really cool stuff that way. Bye, Lass. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Bye, Lass. Look at me getting all excited and beating things over here. The Scorpio, which I think this is Warrior Poet, right? During the previous year, I lost a lot of momentum. Was naive enough to think yet that medical insurance was going to be more helpful than they ever intended on being, and it cost me so much time. Early this year, I had this moment of like, it wasn't anger so much, but disgust or something like that, where I said, the hell with this, I'm going to try and do this myself. And somehow, against all odds, it's like I spoke the outcome I sought into existence. I'm still processing the concept of, wow, that worked in my mind. Didn't expect doing this would have been as powerful as it was. Sorry for being vague. I'll reveal more soon. You know what? I needed to hear that today, so thank you for sharing that. And I am so happy that you're able to overcome this medical insurance hurdle and get what you deserve, get the treatment you deserve, and be able to move forward, because I know that it can just suck your soul out when you get stuck in cycles with insurance companies and stuff. And I know there's a lot of other people here that can also relate to this, so big snaps to you for that. Chris says, I've got a couple of videos up over there on the channel talking about ADHD, and we'll be having a third coming up later this week. Wow, for a couple of videos, yeah, 300 views is pretty awesome. Oh, Tim M says it's too late for win. Oh, hey, Ohio isn't that bad. That the dumb ruckery, I've been through, I'm not raging. I'm going to assume that's your win. So despite all that dumb ruckery, you're not raging. So snaps to you for being able to keep your cool through the dumb ruckery. Master Ganja says, but one thing that really humbled me is when my son told me I inspired him to join the Navy. That's awesome. When does he deploy, or when does he start, or has he already? Yep, Edward's right. Never too late for a win. Jake Smith says, I get to watch the Super Bowl with Kim. It will be the first time in 8 years I get to watch it live and not recorded. I also get to watch the Puppy Bowl with her. It was her idea. See, I told you somebody would be watching the Puppy Bowl. I'm going to have to go watch clips of the Puppy Bowl. I want to watch highlights and replays from the Puppy Bowl. That'll make me happy. So thanks for inspiring me to do that. And I'm glad that you get to have that time with Kim. Oh, Donald says, day 42, no alcohol. My mental health has drastically improved. Big snaps for you. We are so proud of you. Chris says, do you prefer super chats or what to help with your goal? If you're doing a bigger one, then Venmo or PayPal, which is always in, this is not staying up, which is always in the description of my streams here. So if you just go on any of the streams, those are in the description. Or if you're watching this later and you want to contribute, those are in the description. Otherwise, yes, the super chat, super sticker works perfectly. And I just realized that I need to pull up my email so I know if we get any pledges through PayPal or Venmo, so I can include them here on the goal and see where we get to. Patrick Gale says, I had more motivation to work more hours than in past weeks. That is awesome when you start feeling more energy and motivation. I'm glad that you're moving through that energy. Sometimes we just feel kind of lethargic, and that's okay, but we do come out of it, and I'm happy that you are getting through that you're moving through that. CP368 Production says, the boyfriend of the girl who caused my PTSD harassed me, which will likely end up with her finally being brought to justice. I now wear a body camera to catch them stalking me. I'm glad that you're going to get that feeling of peace that comes when that person gets justice. So I hope it brings you the peace that you're looking for and that you deserve. Alrighty, that's our wins for the week. I'll make sure that I don't block that, but I also don't want to knock my snap cup off. Edward says, I pledge not to complain about the Snap Cup song next week. Well, yeah, because we won't be here next week, Edward. It's every 2 weeks. Come on. Stay with the game. Tim, let's see. Tim M says, I think I missed something. Tim says, she knows as far as male survival is the dumb, that I've been through lately. Yeah, I think we've all been really having some dumb ruckery. Red Rats Rides. That was hard to say. Says, Amanda, you've inspired me to create a mental health series on my channel. I'm going live tonight, but do you have any advice? I know it sounds cliche, but just be authentic, because there's so many people that are trying to be just like every other creator. And sure, I have creators that I look up to, and for sure have those people that inspire you, and I'm flattered and honored to be one of those people, but do things on your terms. So do what makes you feel like you're making the biggest difference. So if you want to talk about a certain disorder, do that. If you want to talk about your story, do that. But really listen to your audience. So for me, I realized pretty early on that people wanted to talk through music. I actually didn't initially intend to do reactions. I just kind of fell into that because I realized that when I did a song, I chose a couple of songs and thought, maybe I can cover these and use them to talk about mental health. And I was just going to do one here or there, and then found out that it was an excellent way to be able to facilitate that conversation in a way that people were going to receive, because a lot of people aren't seeking out, how do I talk about my mental health or tips about mental health, but they will listen to music, and they will And they will try to find people that are like them in that way, and they'll bond through these music communities. So that's kind of how I fell into that. So really listen to what it is your followers need from you, because there's always needs that are needing to be filled in the mental health community. And just consistency, being consistent, because I can tell you that when I do go for bits without uploading any content, it does affect the views on the next videos after that. So if that's important to you, make sure that you're just staying as consistent as you can, but don't burn yourself out. Don't commit. I made this mistake of committing to make videos every other day, and then I just got burnt out, and I had to say, okay, if I release 1 or 2 a week, I can keep up with that. So don't put more on your plate than you can handle, just to try to build up your subscribers, because they will come. If you build it, they will come, but let them come in their own time. Thank you, Chris. We are doing excellent today. I think everybody's just in a good mood with the Super Bowl. And I think maybe it's just because you guys love me, and these are all Valentines. You guys just love me that much. Matthew says, I have influences. Okay. Matthew says, I have influences as an artist in the music industry. Everybody does, but I still try to find myself in there as well. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great to have mentors. You know, I think it's great to surround yourself, whether online or in person, with people that lift you up, that inspire you, that motivate you. That's beautiful. But don't try to be them. Don't try to replicate them. You can be inspired by them. You can see something and think, man, that's a really awesome post, and I think I could add to this conversation. So instead of just trying to repeat the conversation, figuring out what you can add. Jay says, oh yeah, happy early Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is not my jive, but I'm going to take the love all the same. Green Turtle says, thank you. I wish Amanda would address my question, but it's okay. I made it this far. Let me see. I don't see a question from you here. I don't see a question. Oh, okay. Green Turtle says, I'm sorry, it does get really busy in here, and that's another reason that they have the super chat, super sticker functions, because it'll highlight the message, because I don't always see everything. But Green Turtle says, hello, Amanda. I struggle with social anxiety and connecting with women in particular. Do you have any advice? I feel so deeply alone. There was this guy who did a challenge a while back, and I actually had a lot of social anxiety too, and doing this massively helped me with it. I didn't do it to the extent he did, but go out of your way. This could sound crazy. Go out of your way to look for rejections, because if you're looking for rejections and you're not seeing them as this horrible thing, because they will come. When you go looking for ways, maybe not with women, maybe start with something else. Just go ask a stranger for $5. That was one of his things. Was I think he asked a stranger for $100, but ask a stranger for $5. Just do things that you know are putting you outside of your comfort zone, but don't have as high of stakes as asking a woman, because you're never going to see that person again, more than likely. So making yourself uncomfortable in ways that don't affect you as big as talking to a woman, so that you can build up your resiliency to rejection, because everybody gets rejected. But if you feel like a rejection is personal and that means something badly about you, as opposed to realizing that, you know what, everybody has to go through this. I've been rejected a million times. It's very uncomfortable. But once you learn to deal with the anxiety that comes with that discomfort, then it's easier to put yourself out there, because you're not so afraid of it. So it's because we're afraid of rejection that we then avoid rejection. But in doing that, we're also avoiding putting ourselves out there. Something else that it's basically exposure therapy. So I guess I'll just transition with that. It's like exposure therapy, where you're finding situations that are less intense than the thing that you're really anxious about, and then building up your resiliency to that. So I've done exposure therapy for quite a few things, and it's been very effective for me. We just have to build a toolbox for dealing with anxiety in the moment. So however your anxiety shows up, if your anxiety is showing up in shortness of breath and you can't breathe, if you are feeling those feelings of rejections, then learning to try to control the breath a little more. If you feel the tingling in your hands or feet, I get that sometimes when I feel anxious, then just getting a stress ball and getting the blood flowing. There's a lot of ways to combat those anxiety symptoms, but change and growth only happen when you get outside of your comfort zone. So if you're staying here because you feel like this is comfortable for you, well, okay, yeah, a ship in the harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are made for. They were made to be out on the ocean. And once we figure out how to start our voyage, which maybe the waters are going to be really choppy for a while and we have to get through that, but once we make those first steps in our voyage, then eventually we'll get to those clear waters and we'll be able to just relax and breathe a little bit. I hope that helps. But I think another aspect of that, I would say, is that if the anxiety is coming from feeling like you're not good enough, then there's work that needs to be done before you can start really branching out. So working on ways to see your own worth, to recognize your own worth, because you want to be the best version of yourself when you're going into the dating world, right? You want to be a strong, independent person that's connecting with another strong, independent person. You want to be two whole people connecting, not two broken people. I'm using air quotes in case you're not looking at the video right now. Two broken people trying to fix each other. So you can't look for a relationship to try to complete you or fix you, because I was using air quotes because we're not broken, we're not porcelain dolls, but making sure that you work on your self-esteem so you know your worth, so that when you do get rejected, you know it has absolutely nothing to do with you. I mean, like I said, I've been rejected more times than I can count, and I finally realized that has absolutely nothing to do with me. I just might not be the right person for them, or they might not be the right person for me. Master Ganja says, let me give a synopsis. My son is a junior. I'm known as senior. So when I saluted him in Annapolis, I said, congratulations, and signed wood, then hugged him tightly. Seeing him succeed makes me proud. Even the little things, so my son just turned 13, but even the little things are so amazing. Like, he was very proud of himself for finally getting this math concept the other week, or he's been working on stop motion. He just wants to make little stop motion videos, so he's been very proud of that. And I know obviously it's not the same, but I just love that warm feeling that we get when our kid does something that just makes them smile, that makes them glow. Spudkey says, my kid's and is Jeremiah. Would you please? Oh, my kid's name is Jeremiah. Hello, Jeremiah. Bye, Spencer. I definitely will go kick some butt this week. David says, wait, you have a teen. You are far too young. You're too kind. Yeah, it's freaking me out. I went to put a pair of slip-on shoes that were in the front closet on and walked out the door just down to grab the mail and realized they were his and they fit. And I sat on my front step and started crying. This is a few weeks ago now, but I just started crying. The morning of his 13th birthday, I started crying. Like I said over on Instagram, I just made a post over on Instagram a few days ago. You can go check it out, but it's basically saying, don't cry over spilled milk. I'll cry over spilled milk, spoiled milk, chocolate milk, Harvey milk, Milky Way. I'll cry over where the hell I want to. So thank you very much. Green Turtle says, I feel paralyzed and judged, but Amanda gave great advice. Realize that we're all feeling that. So there's always that tingling feeling of dread, of anticipation, whatever it is. We kind of get those butterflies in our stomachs. Sometimes it feels like those butterflies' wings are made of razor blades and they're just scratching at our insides. But really realizing that we all feel judged, but even if they're judging us, that doesn't define us. Even if they are saying, oh my gosh, you're crazy, or oh my God, you're not my type, or I don't find you attractive, even if that's their judgment that they're passing, it doesn't have to matter. We don't have to internalize that. People have called me crazy and ugly and fat, of all things. There's certain times like that where I'm just, really? Like, that's the best you could come up with? You couldn't at least tailor something to my appearance? I literally weigh 106 pounds. I can't imagine what world we're in. I mean, maybe by Haitian standards for the kids in Haiti, I don't know, but it's crazy. People will tear you apart, and if people say nasty things, then just allowing them, don't give them the power, don't acknowledge them, because then they're just left bullying themselves. I just did a reaction that pertains to bullying. It's not a song, it's a video, but it was a request from Bryson. I'm going to release it the next couple of days. Bryson's my son. If you guys could watch that, it would mean a lot to him and I. He just said that he's been bullied, and he said this helps really show what I've been feeling and what I go through. So this is really important to him, guys. So like I said, it's going to release in the next few days. The next video that releases, please make sure to watch it, because it was a request from my 13-year-old in response to how he feels about having been bullied. So I think it's a very important conversation to have. I think that he is incredibly wise beyond his years to be able to share that with me, so that I can share it with the community, that he can interpret the message that I'm presuming is I already filmed it. So the message that I presume that they were trying to get across, I really think that he's very wise to have picked up on that, and it's beautiful. So make sure that you're watching that. Ryan says, I wish you were my bodyguard. That's one I've never heard. I'd have to have some kind of weapons here. Edward says, I told you I was only joking when I said that made you look fat. Why would you even use that word, Edward? Just kidding. Water Fountain 7 says, my father's stepdad's son I was trying to figure out that relationship in my head, was caught having an affair with my biological brother, mother bearing in mind I just turned 14 years old. Am I allowed to seek revenge on my dad since he touches kids? That is really heavy. It's not your responsibility to seek any kind of revenge or make sure that he is getting vengeance. But I do think that I highly encourage you to reach out to the proper authorities, to the proper channels, to make sure that he is paying for what he's done, that he is being brought to justice for what he's done. But don't put yourself in a position that is going to take you down with him. Don't go down with him. Don't let his toxicity take you under. David says, when will we get another Aaron Butler song request reaction? That's a good question. Warrior Post says, there's things that have been said to me I don't even want to repeat on here, but in the end, it's important to not ask the wrong questions. They don't define who you are. We define who we are, and they cannot take that away from you. It's just words. Yep, absolutely. Green Turtle says, before I proceed to viewing the chat, can I just say that I love Amanda's reaction to my favorite band, The Who. Thanks, Amanda. You're welcome. It's a pretty interesting experience because I had no idea what to expect when going into a band called The Who. I mean, sometimes you can make some kind of judgments based on band names about what genre it's going to be, but with The Who, I had no idea. Donald says, to get over my social anxiety, started holding doors for people and telling them to have a nice day. Most of the time you get a positive reaction. Build it from there. That's an excellent advice also. So anything you can do to just start building that confidence, whether getting outside, I mean, it's getting outside your comfort zone either way, but anything you can do to be interacting with people, knowing that sometimes they're going to be positive and sometimes they're not. And look for both. Like, make a goal for rejection, but also make sure that you're incorporating those positive interactions as well. Master Danja says, people say I'm short. I'm 6'2", 225 pounds. People are weird, man. People are weird. Rev Rats Ride says, Water Fountain 7, no, the absolute best thing you can do is go to the police. Agreed. Referring to the earlier comment. it blows my mind how people can be so toxic, be it with bullying or abusing people. I understand that this comes from their own place of hurting, but it just blows my mind that people can say, I'm hurt and I know how that feels, and now I'm going to do that to other people. I've definitely been hurt many, many times, and I want to see healing for everyone, but it's so hard when they just don't seem to want it. I'm only 5'14". You're a silly goose. Chris says, also, I haven't had a drink since 2009, so I'm 15 years sober, and I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of you too. So we have about 12 minutes left here. Let's add this up so far and see where we're at. Obviously, I think we've met our goal. I'm going to add this up on here just because it's quicker. And my math teacher said I'd never have a calculator in my pocket. Ha 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 ha, joke's on you. If I could get my phone to unlock. Oh my gosh. We are so far at 375. So we've hit our goal. Of course, we can go over. It just means that we're going to be able to help more people. So right now we are at 375. I'm so grateful that we were able to hit this week. I want to go spread some love on Valentine's Day and see if I can't help some people that might be feeling down, might be feeling lonely. So I'm very grateful to have that opportunity because of the pledges today. So thank you so much. And I'll see if I can't get some more video to post. Craig Seymour says, I lost both parents within a year of each other. I got bullied and I tried to take my own life from bullying. Watch you and your words of wisdom are helping me. As someone who's lost both of her parents and has lived with bullying during different parts of my life, I am so incredibly humbled that my content can do anything to help you through such loss and through such grief and through such trauma. I'm so happy that this community is here for you. If you ever need to talk, just message me over on Instagram at MentalAmanda. I might not respond right away because I don't have Instagram on my phone, but I try to check my comments and my messages at least once every day or two. So I've been trying to be more active over there. So if you ever need someone to talk to, just send me a message. Tim says, wait, Amanda should sing again. No, that was for the pledge of love. Linksy says, I recently ended up breaking up with a girl who I loved a lot. We were really good friends for 3 years. We got together at the start of 2024, but unfortunately she was cheating on me with somebody else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that. You don't deserve that. I hope that you find the love that you deserve, a trusting, pure, peaceful love. But also kind of exciting too, because we all have to have a little bit of adventure in our love. Rev Ride says, Amanda, could I please have another shout out for my live stream that's coming up directly after yours? Apparently there's a live stream going on over on Rev Rides. It's so hard to say. It's such a mouthful. So if you're wanting to maybe get some other perspectives on mental health, go check that out. Matthew says, Loretta Lynn, an inspiration. May she rest in peace. I'm hoping one day to see her again. I loved Conway and Loretta. I grew up on Conway and Loretta. Oh, Rev Rats Ride says, today is my Chihuahua son's birthday. He was brutally murdered right before Christmas 2 years ago. I actually lost Chihuahua. He was attacked and killed by another Chihuahua. I wasn't there. He was with another family, but it's so devastating to think about what they go through, you know? And I just tell myself I gave him all the love I could while he was here, and he got to know love. Not every dog gets that. He got to know love. He got to know family. Just remember that he had that blessing of getting to know you and getting to be loved by you. And happy birthday to your little furry friend up there. Oh, it's getting warm in my office. Rev Rats Ride says Night she was attacked by a neighbor's wolf hybrid right in front of my wife. I've always been very conflicted because I'm glad that I wasn't there to witness my little guy getting attacked. His name was Cairo. I'm glad that I wasn't there to witness it, but at the same time, I wish I could have been there to hold him and just let him know that he was loved. I don't even know how long it took. Like if he died quickly, I don't know what happened as far as what he experienced. So I know how hard it can be. Master Ganja says my birthday is Wednesday. I'll be 42. Laugh out loud, dreading it, man. I just stopped counting with my birthdays. I don't really like to think about age. I like to have adventures, like driving to Albuquerque with an absolute stranger to do a Breaking Bad chore and making them listen to NSYNC the entire time. Donald says, I've read a lot to understand mainly myself, but others as well. One thing I read was never tell yourself something negative, even when you're joking. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Yeah, that's, oh my God. Not Jackie Chan. Why can I not think of the martial artist who passed away? My brain is having a fart right now. Somebody will tell me. Really famous martial artist passed away. Bruce Lee. It was Bruce Lee. Whew, I got it before anybody posted here. Yes, Ryan said R.I.P. Toby Keith. That was pretty sad. Yeah, Toby Keith was pretty sad. There are a couple of his songs that really motivate me. One of his songs really helped me through my divorce. I listened to it a lot leading up to my divorce, along with a lot of Linkin Park. So I really did like Toby Keith. He was one of the only new country artists I like because I had a soft spot, like I said, for Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, Georgia Jones, all the oldies country, the classic country. And it was pretty sad when Toby passed. I didn't know that he was sick, but he was looking pretty bad in his most recent pictures. David says, you went with a stranger. Wow, you're crazy. Don't forget a sweatshirt. It gets cold in Albuquerque. That is my favorite sweatshirt now. I wear it constantly around the house. Craig says, I'm 49 years old. I wish I had your words of wisdom when I was 18 years old. Man, I wish I had my words of wisdom when I was 18 years old. My life would be a lot different if I knew then what I know now. But we don't, because we get that wisdom through experience a lot of the times. But yeah, so let me just be transparent about something. There are many times, I would almost say at least once a day, I think, man, I wish I could go back. I wish I could go back to a time when I could just be with my parents, when I could hang out with my best friend, when I could just listen in sync all day, where I didn't feel rushed. I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm feeling like I'm hearing TikTok, Amanda, TikTok, TikTok, and it just gets louder and louder and louder as things keep coming up in my life over the last couple of years. I just feel like the ticking is deafening in my ear, and I feel like, well, if I just would have done something differently, but when we know better, we do better. And we just didn't know better at the time. We didn't know. We could have known. People could have told us, and we could have said, yeah, you know what, this could end badly, but will it? I don't know. And I think that if we really genuinely truly knew, we would have made different decisions. But just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean you intrinsically know it. Erin says your hair looks really nice. Thanks, babe. Oh, Rev Rats Ride says, I'm a man, so if you would like a guy's POV on mental health. I think that's really valuable. I know that there's a lot of guys in here that might really need other guys to talk to. So if you're looking for men's mental health perspective, make sure to go check that out. N2KFX says, can I say goodbye, speak soon to you, Amanda and all? I'm getting the look of the nurse while in hospital because my knee, as I said earlier, well, I hope you recover quickly, and I hope that you are able to walk. Erin knows the knee pain. I hope you're able to walk and get around and skip and be merry here in no time. Mm. Edward says, my hope for everyone, if you're struggling, please try something positively different this week. No matter how small, make a change. Big results come from small changes. It's very true. Even if it's just something small I've been doing for the past probably 4 months now, is I just write a paragraph in my journal every day. That's been huge. Even if it's just incorporating things. Find ways to incorporate things into tasks you already do. That's the easiest thing for me. So for example, when I'm getting ready, when I'm doing my hair and stuff, I will listen to something uplifting. I have a few creators that I really admire, that I really love their insights, so I'll listen to them and just allow that to lift me up while I get ready for my day. I journal. A lot of the times when I'm watching my soap, I'll get some kickboxing in the living room, something like that. So just stack habits on things that you already do because it makes it easier to incorporate them. So if you go on a morning walk and you're wanting to learn a language, listen to a language podcast. Just make sure that you're doing things that are easy to incorporate. Or even if you just say, you know what, right now I'm going to drink a little bit of extra water. I'm going to read a passage of this book. You don't have to read the whole book. Just open a self-help book and see where you land, or like any kind of self-development book and see where you land. Yeah, knees do take forever to heal. Green Turtle says, Tim and I agree. I'm just so deathly scared of rejection. I really appreciate, Amanda, yours and all the chat's advice. I think at the end of the day, everyone's terrified of rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. It's not even just with relationships and dating. It's if we put ourselves out there, we put our work out there, we put our thoughts out there, if we make ourselves vulnerable in any way and someone rejects us, that feels like a wound to us. It feels like we opened up our arms and somebody just shot us. I am destined to break something today, guys. And somebody just shot us. And when we realize that it was just a rubber bullet, we can bounce back quicker. Donald says, life can only be understood in reverse, but we must live life forward. That's a good thought. Alrighty, so we've got to wrap up here. If you have any last pledges that you want to do, if you have any last questions you want to ask, or any last wins you want me to acknowledge, make sure to drop them here in the chat. I'm going to go for another 5 minutes and then take off. Edward says, if you have to break something, I vote for those dolls. You leave my boys alone, Edward. You leave my boys alone. I will hurt you. I will hurt you. That's my mental health. That's my better place back there. Jake says, I'm afraid of rejection because it feels like a defeat. Yeah, it's definitely a mindset that has to be overcome because I feel like that it feels like that for a lot of people, for most people, really. And it was a mindset I had to overcome, and I still don't enjoy it, but I'm not afraid of it anymore. Linksy says, no one be touching my guitars. They're my mental health medicine. Does anybody else remember the show Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher where he'd punk other celebrities? Because I remember an episode, ironically, with Justin Timberlake where Ashton had convinced Justin that they were repoing his house and all his belongings. So Justin comes home and there's these movers that are boxing up his stuff and just moving it all out and taking stuff. And he has this guitar that was really sentimental to him, and the guy drops it and breaks, and you just see the light leave Justin's eyes. And I thought he was straight out going to swing on this guy, and that's when Ashton had to run out and say, you got punked, because Justin was going to swing on this dude. He was going to lay this guy out. Ken Wong, what? Well, thanks for the uplifting energy today. I definitely can always use it. It's always nice to have that mental boost. And Edward was talking about wins. Even if your win is talking to someone, you know, calling a friend and having a conversation with a friend, something positive like that. I always list suggestions for wins, because a lot of the times when I was just posting, post your wins here in the community, a lot of people would say, I don't have any. It might take you longer to think of them at some points in your life, but don't let your shadow tell you that you don't have any. You do have wins. Even if your win is, I woke up this morning, you still have a win. That's a huge win. The fact that you got another day, that you have another chance, that you have another choice, those are definitely wins. Linksy said, I just wanted to say I subscribe to Rev Rat's rides. Yes, I'm going to have to go. Can I click on? I don't think I can click on you guys, but I will make sure. Hang on. Rev Rat's. Okay. My little neck of YouTube. I love it. I found you. There's a puppy, so I'm already happy. Tim says, shadow, you mean alts. No, I'm not. I don't have MPD. My shadow is more just my way of describing, kind of like Dexter's dark passenger, just those dark thoughts I have, the urges, the cravings, the side of me that tries to tear me down, that just tends to be very pessimistic or very destructive. I just describe that as my shadow. Because if you are struggling with symptoms of anxiety or depression or something, it actually helps a lot if you realize that that's separate from you. So if you name your depression symptoms, if you name that, you name your brain, you can realize that it's separate from you. It's not you. It's not who you are. It's separate from you, and it can just shift your perspective in a way that helps you feel more empowered. But I am going to go. I'm going to take off. It's so hard because I'm hanging out with you guys all day. I do have some stuff I need to finish before the end of the week here for my school week. I have a couple of those last minute discussion comments and stuff that I need to get in. But thank you guys so much for helping me reach the goal. I can't wait to share what we do with it for Valentine's Day or beyond. I love you guys so much. Just think of all the love from this community, whatever you're doing on Valentine's Day. Think of all of the love that's being sent to you from all of us here, all 60,000 of us. We love you so, so much. And I will see you soon. Mwah.